you are. As we are going to begin our weather unit for science. We are finally going to start our weather unit for science and learn the processes that shape the earth. But to know the processes that shape the earth, we have to understand what is weather.
Weather rules our life. Everything from where we go to what we do depends on the weather outside. Too cold? Some hot chocolate, please. Too hot? Swim time! Too wet? Let's make some paper boats. Hi, I'm Ritu, and welcome to Anu Club Weather. What does today's day look like? Is it cloudy, windy, sunny, rainy? These descriptions are nothing but the types of weather. So, our big question of the day is what is weather? Before that, let me tell you what the weather is not. Weather is not climate. We've all heard variations of what a lovely climate to describe a pleasant day. But surprise, surprise, weather and climate are not the same. The key difference between them is time. Climate is the average weather of a region for a long period of time, usually about 30 years. Weather, on the other hand, is constantly changing from hour to hour, minute to minute, and second to second. Not unlike me changing my mind about what to eat. Samosa, maybe chips. Want a cake? Don't boo the weather for being fickle. It's not its fault. Weather is only the end product, like a samosa. If the samosa tastes bad, there must have been something wrong with its ingredient. A lot of factors come together to make a day's weather. These range from how close you are to a water body to the number of clouds in the sky. Even a slight change in any one of these factors could result in an entirely different weather condition. That's why predicting weather is so tricky. In all fairness, meteorology, or the study of Earth's atmosphere, has advanced greatly in recent years. We can now predict up to 5 days' weather with almost 90% accuracy. Now, your standard weather prediction will usually mention the air temperature, humidity, precipitation, sky conditions, air pressure, and wind. Alright, that was an avalanche of sciencey sounding words. But don't you worry, people. After all, Anu Club is all about making the complicated simple. On that note, let's start with a simple question. What do you do before packing for any trip? Check how hot or cold your destination is going to be, right? Say you're going to Shimla during the winters. Then you might want to pack your woolens. If you're going to Goa in the hot month of May, packing a pair of shorts would be a great idea. Knowing the temperature of a region helps us make a lot of decisions. What to wear, what to eat, what to drink, and what activities to undertake. The one thing any weather forecast will tell you is how hot and how cold it's likely to get during the day. And by day, we mean from sunrise to sunrise. If you think the hottest time of the day is noon, then you're wrong. The hottest time of the day is usually during late afternoons, around 2 to 4 p.m. By this time, the earth absorbs enough heat from the sun and the ground is at its hottest. No wonder it's the best time of the day to take a nap. But imagine being stuck in heat and swimming in sweat. Annoying, right? We have humidity to blame for this annoyance. Humidity is the amount of water in the air. Water evaporates due to heat. When the air is saturated with water, there is no room for it to absorb any more moisture, including our sweat. Think of it like trying to dry yourself with a sopping wet towel. You know it's just going to be moist and icky. The hot water vapor rises up and eventually turns into clouds. Just so you know, clouds are not just pretty looking cotton balls up in the sky. They play a major role in regulating our daily weather. During the day, clouds control how much of the sun's rays reach the earth. More the clouds, less the rays. At night, clouds determine how much of the absorbed heat gets released back into space. So the clouds act like a thermal blanket, keeping us warm at night. Even if you're not up to date with the day's weather forecast, I bet you can tell it's going to rain just by looking up at a cloudy grey sky. But then there are times when the sky suddenly clears up. Where did they go? And how? If you haven't noticed, clouds move. This is possible because of the wind. Wind is the vehicle by which water vapor moves from one part of the world to another. This creates temperature variations, creating different weather. Simply put, without wind, weather would not exist. Of course, there are several other factors that play a hand in constantly changing our weather. Now that you know what weather is, join us in the next episode where we uncover the mystery of climate. Anu, you like it. Like.
Isn't it so interesting how many components of weather there are? Yes, this affects us every day. It's very important for us to understand what exactly is weather. Someone who studies weather is called a meteorologist. Someone who studies weather is called a meteorologist. A scientist who studies weather is called a meteorologist. Very important for us to know that we have people in this big world helping us to learn more and more about weather. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, go to Schoology, Schoology, Courses, Science, Schoology, Courses, Science. Yes, we are in our science course on Schoology. When you go to When you are in your science course, you will see a weather student book. It is the very first thing that pops up. Select weather student book. Open your weather student book with Cami. Open assignment with Cami. If it doesn't load right away, please be patient and wait for this box that says open assignment with Cami. So we are opening our weather student book. It's loading slowly but surely. There we go. We are not going to complete every page, so please follow along in science class, especially with our videos, to find out which pages are necessary for you. Today, we're going to start by putting our name. So please put your name on your weather book. Put your name on your weather book. So I'm going to use my textbooks and type Mrs. Adams. There's my name, ready to roll. I know this is my weather book. As I scroll down, you can see that this book will be scored. It's actually worth 100 points. So 100 points if every page is complete, correct, and neat. You get a 9 out of 8 or 90 or 80. If most pages are correct, 70 if some pages are correct, 60 if a few pages, 50 if no pages are correct and neat. For today, we're going to start with this very first page, Weather and Our Lives. Weather and Our Lives. If you were paying attention in the first video, or the first half of this video, you already know who studies and forecasts the weather. Who studies and forecasts the weather? Use your text box to write who studies and forecasts the weather. I'll give you a hint. It starts with the letter M. You may have to Google how to spell it, and that's okay. Number 2, what is the main reason why we study weather and have weather forecast? So you will type, again, using your text box, why do you think that we study weather? Why do we have I almost said number 1. Why do we have people who study weather, and why do we have weather forecast? Finally, please answer the question today. How does weather affect our lives? How does it affect you if it rains, if it snows, if it's windy, the temperature, if it's hot or if it's cold? How does this affect you? So for today, please complete the second page, Weather and Our Lives.